Hello everyone and welcome to Wednesday Night Mythos Club. I'm Mark and I'll be your GM tonight. I'm joined by Dan.
Mark, it's keeper.
Oh,
just gonna put it out there. It's a keeper.
I'm gonna have to do a take on and the retake on that one already.
No.
Give it in.
I'm joking. I'll be your keeper tonight, and I'm joined by Dan, Nat, and Jake, and I'm going to ask them to introduce their characters in just a second. But tonight and over these sessions, we're going to be playing Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. You might have guessed from the type of our little club, Wednesday Night Mythos Club, we tend to play horror-based RPGs of all sorts of shapes and sizes, but we're playing Call of Cthulhu 7th edition tonight, and we're playing a scenario module called Scritch, and it was a scenario that was, as I understand from the introduction and foreword, designed on a plane on the way to a con, which is really good, and it was so good, in fact, they pulled it together as part of Chaosium's free RPG day back in 2018, and it is available as a free PDF on the Chaosium website. I don't believe, gents, we're sponsored by Chaosium at the moment, or yet?
Not at the moment. I'll send an email.
Hashtag Chaosium.
But you can purchase a hard copy as well, which is usually around about £5 or £6, which is really good. It's a good scenario. I'm looking forward to running it as the keeper. So if we could just briefly introduce your characters. I've provided the guys with characters. They're pre-generated characters for this scenario. So Dan, why don't you start us off, mate?
Okay, I'm Dan. I'm actually playing Paul Martin today. He is a scientist conventionally by profession. I studied at a university, but some time ago started up a specialist cleaning company, which he now does. Middle-aged man, jet black, keeps quite fit, married to Shirley, and looks after his nephew Simon.
Thank you, Dan. Nat, what about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm playing Paul Chambers. Just to add as well, I haven't read the scenario, even though I have it. I just have it for the character sheet. So I'm playing Paul Chambers. I'm a cameraman from London town. Yeah, I'm short, stocky, and I've got a broken nose. I've been in a couple of pubs, a bit like the one that Paul Martin's in at the moment, and maybe had a few too many scuffles. I like to take risks. I got sacked from my last job, taking those risks. We'll get this fly of the wall documentary out the way, and I'll be back in Big Ted, my mentor's good books. And I might even win another national television award like I did back at uni.
Cool.
And yeah, bit of a bruiser, but behind the camera.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Nat. And Jake, do you want to introduce your character?
Yeah, no worries. So I'm Jake. I'm playing Simon Johnson. I'm a chemistry student, 20, relatively fit, quite reserved, but I have a debt to pay to my uncle and Shirley and Paul Martin. I'm indebted to them for taking me in when my parents died in an accident. And the gratitude really is why I'm mainly studying chemistry rather than my passion of photography.
Okay, so hopefully Simon and Tom may well be able to bounce off each other a little bit during the course of the scenario. As you'll be able to see from the video in front of you, we are using Foundry VTT as our sort of virtual tabletop. This is the first time us as a group have used it. We've all been mucking around with it and playing with it a little bit, but this is the first time in using it in anger, so hopefully we've got a decent setup and a good way to do it. So without further ado, I'm going to move you across hopefully and preload this scene very quickly and then activate it. And you should be able to see that.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you have appeared and pulled up at a car park just outside of an English town called Muscoby, well, an English village actually, not town. Now the road leading into Muscoby is fairly new, but the route through the steep hills as it winds its way up to the village is an ancient one. You can tell from the ground around it that the road is well worn. I'm just going to sort of give you the outline of you pulling into the car park. You've passed over the crest of the hill and you can see the village laid out in the valley below you, although it's quite hard to make out too much detail as the rain is steadily falling, sort of that really drizzly, soaking wet rain. And you've pulled into a fairly oversized car park, actually, that looks quite new in comparison to the things around you. You can see it's well laid, it's fairly new tarmac, there's not too much scuffing on it. So obviously the town, or the village, sorry, has spent a bit of money pulling in doing some work on the car park. The single main road, as you could see it from where you are, does snake up through a cluster of houses that form the village on either side, sort of classic English village style of main road through it. And as you've been pulling down and through into the valley, you could see towards the rear of the village, there's woods as far as you could see on the side of the valley behind it. And you could see a small church that was what appeared to be in the middle of a field, about half a mile from the main village, towards the back of it from your view. It's late summer when you arrive, it's the end of the holiday season, and there's only a few cars parked in the car park. So you've pulled in and you've got a pre-arranged meeting. Paul, actually, as the cleaning boss, has had this pre-arranged meeting with a environmental officer from the local council, a lady called Lynn. So and she's part of, Paul will know this and will have passed these details on to Tom and Simon, that she's part of the local council that's hired Paul's services to clean out what's been told to you on the phone as a local cottage. And that's all the information that you've been given at the moment. So you've pulled up and she's greeted you and she's made her introductions. You've introduced yourself and she's saying she's now talking directly to Paul. Thank you very much for coming at such short notice. It really is appreciated.
That's no problem. I'm glad we could be of service to you. We're looking to branch out quite considerably in this area.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good of you to come and be with us. I didn't quite realise you were going to be bringing. Did you say you've got a cameraman with you there?
Yeah, he's just someone that's doing a bit of research on us with a view to making maybe a documentary or something like that. He won't get in the way.
Oh, hello. Oh, what widen a little bit at the mention of the documentary. Is this going to be on television or?
For my way, it's probably not, but yeah, we'll see what happens. What is it? Crack den? Hoarders? What we going for? What's the theme?
She's going to look at Paul as if, no, there's no crack den. I don't even really understand what a crack den is.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it. At least I'm not going to have to be looking for any needles or anything. Take that off the.
Oh, I don't think there's.
That's a heroin den, Tom. Not a crack den. There is a difference.
Crack heroin.
Let's just keep this. Let's keep this professional. The job in hand. The cottage.
Yes,
give us much detail about it on the phone when we spoke, but you did say it was a specialist job.
Yes, it is indeed, and we need some professionals to undertake the deep-rooted cleaning. And I appreciate that you might not be doing that at the moment, but it's a local employee of the council who's unfortunately indisposed at the moment, and we thought we'd take it upon ourselves to clear his cottage that's owned by the council. So we would that's what we'd like you to do. Yes.
So you say indisposed, and can we just clarify, is it an eviction? What are we talking here? Where is the gentleman?
Well, I don't really. So at this point, Paul, if you'd like to give me an intimidate, persuade, or charm roll, whichever you feel is the most appropriate, or which you've got a higher skill in.
Go on, punch her in the face. Intimidate, blimey.
Let's have a look.
I'm going to say that Tom's clicked his camera on. No.
Yeah,
I don't think Paul's very intimidating or charming. We'll go for persuade.
Okay.
Will we know?
Is it rolling?
Oh, there we go, and there we go.
I didn't have the sheet locked, which helps.
So,
okay.
From a Foundry perspective, there's buttons you can just click on, and you can see up here that it's automatically told us that his persuade check was a 65% check, and it's actually a failure of 80. I won't explain all of those roles as we go through because it will take up more time. But just for that brief one, I don't really want to go into detail. It's a private matter between us and our employee.
Yeah, just good to get a handle on what we're doing, whether this is a complete removal and clean or what the circumstances are. Sometimes when we get called in for these jobs where someone's died in the property, then there's whole...
Oh, nobody's died. No, he's perfectly better now, or he's getting better. So, yeah, no, it's just a mess. That's all. It's a general tidy up. We're not evicting him. He's going to remain an employee, hopefully, with the council. And yeah, it's really a good deep clean, a good tidy up. There's a few bits that he keeps in some outhouses that I'd like you to get rid of.
Cats, dogs?
No cats, no dogs, no.
Right. Outhouses, you say?
Yeah, but there's you'll see when we get there. It's just a mess, really.
Perhaps we should be off.
We can go straight there if you want, but I just wanted to let you know as well. I've taken the liberty of booking. I thought you'd probably stay overnight. It's a bit of a distance out here. One night in Ashford, a pub in Ashford called the Golden Ram. It's about 15 minutes from here. The pub here isn't open anymore, unfortunately. But it's all booked. It's all booked in. It's all booked in my name, and obviously you within reason, you can charge things to the room, which is no need to worry about that.
Nice.
Oh, ale. They got a good selection of ale. I do like a bit of
yeah,
vodka.
lots of local ales.
Nice.
They've got Heineken, they've got Stella, they've got all sorts of really good ales there. Yeah.
And Tom just shakes his head.
I don't think it will take you more than a couple of days, really. I know you're not going to do it today. I thought by the time you get there and have a look round and do everything, you wouldn't want to drive back tonight. It's a bit of a distance, and character Muscoby is a fair distance away from. You're probably looking at about an hour and a half's journey apart from Ashford, which is the local sort of larger town, which is about 15 minutes away. You're looking at about an hour each way to anywhere else.
Yeah, 2 days sounds like quite a big job. What do you think there, Simon? You think we don't usually do multi-day jobs? We like to get in and get it done just in a day.
Yeah, I agree. But perhaps we can assess it when we get on site, and then if it requires a huge amount of work, then we'll have to reassess. It's hard to say from what we've been told so far how big the job is.
Just going to say, didn't she say that he was a cleaner for the council, or just worked for the council?
You just work for the council, apparently, lad.
Right. All right. I was going to say, like, being a cleaner for the council and having a messy house, it doesn't really, I suppose, busman's holiday, but I must have got it wrong.
You might be right. I just didn't hear that. Yeah.
Who knows? She's eavesdropping at this point, and she says, "No, he's not. He's not a cleaner. No."
It'd be handy if we have his name in case anyone comes knocking on the door looking for trouble.
His name's
Gertin.
Gertin.
That's not your name.
Well, it's a bit of a strange name. He's not from Kent, is he?
I don't know. I think he's lived here. I don't think I've ever seen him out of the village, to be honest with you.
Okay, no worries. How far is it to the cottage from here?
Oh, it's less than a sort of 5 minute drive.
Okay,
we'll follow you there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've taken the liberty as well. I know that Muscaby isn't the sort of metropolis that you guys are used to coming from, but I've taken the liberty of showing it, of getting a map for you, if that's helpful.
Yeah, absolutely, it will be helpful.
And we just need you to sign this waiver so that Tom can do a bit of filming. I think he's going to do a time lapse and stuff like that.
Does that mean I don't mind being in it? I don't mind being in it at all if that's needed.
We need you to sign this to say you're happy with having your face caught on it, seeing your mug up on TV, and then absolutely fine. And but what I'd really like to do, if we can go like the scenic route, I'll lean out the car, get some nice panoramics, and then we'll get to the house.
Just going to look at Simon and go, "Oh, he's very good, isn't he? He knows what he's doing." Oh, I do. Yeah,
it's very technical.
That's very describing that shot. I could imagine it. It's like a sort of. You should be able to get some very panoramic views of the village as we go through it. I mean, if you want to get me in the car as well, I mean, my hair might be blowing a little bit in the car with the window open, but I don't mind. It's
all right, love. We'll put the window up. We'll stop it from happening.
Well, I don't mind the window being down.
I'm going to whisper to my uncle. I might be a chemistry student, but I can see some chemistry going on here. and then I'm going to get in the car.
She's going to sort of, before we get in the car, she's just going to hand these, they're paper pamphlets that have been printed on quite cheap paper, but she'll show you, and hopefully you'll be able to see these as I show them to you.
Cheap paper. Welcome to a council.
Yeah, that's council paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
recycled. Look at it. Quality of toilet paper. That.
Look at that. Couldn't
Yeah.
even afford colour.
Yeah,
That's about right.
Well,
Oh, that's lovely.
we did pay, we paid nearly £30 to have the drawing done, so I thought we'd done quite well out of that.
Yeah, but you ruined it on the paper, didn't you?
Well,
Yeah, well, it's normal for the council, Uncle.
unfortunately, I have to use the paper that's by the side of the photocopier, so that's the only one I can use, really.
Of course. No worries. That's fine.
So, can you all see that all right? Is that all right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. All through, absolutely fine.
Now, I don't know whether, again, out of character and first time using Foundry, that I've shown that to you now. Does that appear in your? Can you save that?
Handouts.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll close that then.
How do I re-access that then?
You have to go into assets handouts, I believe, is the on Foundry if you want to get it again.
Okay.
If you need it
Top
again,
of it.
if you can't find it, I can always get it back up again.
Lovely.
It should be in there somewhere. What's it?
Yeah, I don't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got my little book
Yeah,
and there's nothing in that.
I'd expect to see it in the journal.
Okay.
You do journal and then do handout. Does that come up? No, it's not in the journal.
You can cut this bit out, Mark.
Yeah.
It's not in that section either.
Oh,
Let me just show it again to you and then see.
do we have to save it? No, we can't.
I think if
I'm just keeping it up
if
on my
you
screen,
right click
so
on
maybe
it, do you have a like configure option or a permissions? And I think if you change owner to be everyone,
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's at the moment you own it, so we can't see it unless you tell us.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if you just do the handout out for the moment. That's fine. I'll just keep it on the screen for everyone.
Configure permissions. There we go. Right.
yeah. So if you make players owner,
Yeah.
and then we should be able
And
to see
then
it.
assign them.
There we go.
Then we can piss on your curtains.
Eee.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Be aware that when you do that, though, that just for the future notes for yourself, Mark, that when you do that, if you've got any description written in as GM notes, then it will display it. But yeah, it's just more of the handouts. So if you had written on the back of the handouts, go to find these characters, it will, when you make it public, it'll be in there.
Okay.
Because I know I made that mistake on something else before. No, we're good.
We're good. Okay, so we'll come back then. So, yes, if you would like to follow me, it won't take us too long to get to Gerton's cottage. So,
Yeah, no problem. Right behind.
What's the time as well in terms of we in the 1990s, 2000s?
it's modern
What's
day,
the-
2022.
With COVID or without?
Uh,
Tom needs to know. He needs to know if he's got to wear a mask.
Let's say without. Let's make believe. Spend some
Sorry,
time
yeah.
without COVID. So,
Yeah, good.
hopefully, you will be able to see this comes up.
Let's try him.
It'll take a bit of time because this is quite a big file to load.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah. So are we traveling to the cottage? Yeah. So
Yeah.
on the way, Tom is, this is lovely. This is good. Yeah. Nice scene. Panoramic. And he is literally holding onto the seatbelt inside of the car, hanging out the window with his camera.
Nice.
It was like, no, there's no health and safety going on here.
Yeah, it's quite an attractive little village here. It's a strange place for council properties. These chocolate box type thatched cottages and things. Quaint village pub.
You know what it's like though. You build new houses and you got to put some council provision in.
we're trying to retain the nature of the village. We do want to attract tourists. We do need to keep the village alive, but and that comes at a cost sometimes. But yeah, well, no, thank you. We love living here. It's a lovely place. Now on this scene, because you haven't got your tokens, you might need to drag your character onto the map so that you've got a viewpoint, or I can drag them on there for you.
Yeah, you'll need to drag me. It's giving me a small error.
Okay, so I'll pull.
How do you drag?
So I can do it. Tom and Simon. So you should all be able to see that, or there should be a fog of war there.
Yeah. There is.
Can you move
there
your
is.
characters around? Could you just go forward and back? Should be able to. Yeah, that's
I
cool.
can.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
I'm still waiting for it to load fully.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's very dark for being during the day, right?
Yeah.
Don't like this. Getting a funny feeling.
Just let me know when you're all ready.
Yeah, it seems to
Come
be a
on,
bit-
Uncle Slowpoke.
it seems to be a bit stuck for me for some reason. Still at 98%. It's just sitting.
It is
there.
quite a big scene by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's a big map there, Mark.
Just so you know, you can scroll in and out with the mouse on Foundry.
Yeah.
Which makes it easier if you've got a screen that's ridiculously huge like me.
Yeah, all right. Like,
Big screen, Jake.
Yeah. Small shoes.
small
Big
shoes,
socks.
big screen.
Yeah.
But you know what that says about you? You know, what do
do.
you need what do you need a big screen for?
I'm
I
nearly
suppose-
blind.
Seeing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being nearly blind doesn't help on this front. Yeah.
How you doing, Dan?
No, I'm just going to try and
Give it a
go
refresh.
into it again.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Ah,
It's fine. I've got what I can control when I can't, so it's fine.
that's weird because I can only see three. One is Simon, one is Tom, and one is Paul.
Yeah, it's all good.
Still waiting. Just got like a black screen.
Okay, I'm not
And
gonna.
I have refreshed it, but it's just clearly.
Taking its time.
Yep.
Oh, at least we know it's not technical difficulties on Mark's side this time. Whoops.
Hold on. Gonna
Oh.
open it in a brand
Tom,
new tab. See
Yeah.
if that. And log back in again.
no worries, mate.
Like, look at this look at this cottage. It's lovely. Like,
Oh,
it's really nice.
it's very
I'll
green.
do a brief description as just getting sorted. So the cottage itself is perched at the end of a lane, the lane for the village, from the village. And it does back up against some woods. From the outside, what you can see is a single-story cottage. Doesn't look as if it needs much doing to it. It looks pretty picturesque. Front garden is a little bit overgrown, but the white wooden gate is in good repair. And the hedges have obviously, the hedges nearby have been trimmed maybe a month or two ago. And there's a short path that leads up to the main door. There is a tiny pane of glass in the door, but it's impossible to see through it clearly. Peering through the netting on the window to the right of the door reveals the old-fashioned room, but you can't really see too much from it. It looks like a parlour or something like that. And the window to the left of the door, this you're sort of having a look while you're waiting for Lynn to get out of her car and sort of or come to you guys. And it looks like it's the room to the right of the door. It looks like it could be a sort of dining room type area. Are we good to go there, Dan? Are you okay? Or
It's at 98%.
Yeah, no, if I just leave it for a bit, because it did, mine sat at 90% for about a minute, and then it went through.
Theatre of the mind, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, 100% now. Yep, got it.
here we go. Excellent. Like I say, it's a fairly big map. Okay.
We can see the size of your socks.
So you're at the front door and Lynn's behind you. What do you want to do?
We need to wait for the lady with the keys, don't we? So I take it you're still recording, Tom?
Of course I'm still recording. This isn't my first rodeo. Now, pull that kid away from the door. We don't know what's in there.
I'll back away from the door.
There's no harm in just having a look around the outside while we wait for her.
Don't know what
we'll
you're doing
just,
bringing a kid with you.
Well, he's not a kid anymore, is he? He's part of the business.
20, I helped clear.
He's as much the business as I am.
Oh, all right. All right. If you say so. I'm just the camera monkey, as always. You carry on. Nothing about my award that I won or anything. Don't worry about that.
We know you're good enough, or we wouldn't have hired you.
Yeah,
So-
quite right there. If you touch my stuff, though.
We'll just
We ain't gonna
walk
we ain't gonna
around
touch
the
your stuff.
outside and we'll get some, what do you call it, Tom? That kind of like scene setting. We'll just get some images of the cottage and some images of perhaps me and Simon looking in through the windows and that sort of stuff.
That sounds
sizing it up.
Yeah, that sounds good. It does sound good. It's as if you've watched some of my work before. Now, if you just get yourself up there, and what I'll do is I'll pan to you two there with your stuff.
Yeah.
You got your cleaning stuff with you? Get it out, make it look like you're doing some stuff, and then I'll pan round to Lynn as she walks up the drive with the keys.
Yeah, I've got a rag in my pocket. I'll just maybe shine a window or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. Get shining a window, and I'll just do that.
I'll do the same on the other side.
Lynn's doing her hair as she's walking towards the camera.
All right. So Lynn, how long has he not been here?
Oh, it's been about a few weeks.
And what was it you said happened to him? Tripped over a ladder or something?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't trip over a ladder. No.
Oh, what was it, Lynn?
Well, I don't really know.
Nah, come on, you can tell me. I wouldn't tell away your secrets. The same as you won't tell away my secrets.
If you'd like to give me a charm, persuade, or intimidate roll, Tom.
Yes, I will. I'll not persuade. Oh, he's good at intimidate. No, I won't do an intimidate.
I'm just gonna slide up at this point and go, we're trying to make the documentary as real as possible here, and I could tell Tom would really appreciate it, if you know what I mean.
Or based on Simon's cajoling as well, I'm happy to give you an advantage roll on that roll.
Yeah. There we go. Let me just lock my character sheet so it rolls. So I can roll with...
Perhaps I'll make the persuade check.
With the bonus, yeah.
So I was trying to beat 15 and I got 53.
I think then you, mate.
Come on, Lynn, we're all friends.
I'm afraid I can't. No, it doesn't really matter why. He's absolutely fine. That's all we need to worry about. And the tourist was absolutely fine as well. So there's no need to worry about.
Tourist or Taurus?
Well, this might turn fascinating. Is there someone in the woods? Is that what's happening? Is this a Blair Witch type situation?
So you watch too many films. Tom, are you getting this? I've nearly finished this window.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. And
just this little corner to do.
Yeah,
It's not going to be a very good advert for the business if you're not actually getting a lot of us cleaning.
All right. Get your elbow in there. That's it. Nice, lovely done. Nice, well done. You're a good cleaner, you are. And Tom's just...
I'm a better scientist. Them's the breaks.
Oh,
Yeah.
Them's the breaks indeed. What kind of science?
Oh, the regular type.
Oh, yeah.
Chemicals, chemistry, that kind of... But less of the biology type stuff.
Oh, so you know, like all the enzymes you need and stuff to clean and...
Yeah. That's what kind of got me in the business.
And that also helps. I'm also a chemistry student. I'll say to Tom, it also helps with the business.
Oh,
You know, I go to
No,
different
no, it's
university.
my nephew.
yeah, I understand all that chemistry and stuff. Yeah,
Good, good.
all
Should
about
we get inside?
enzymes. Yeah, let's get inside. Let me just set it up.
Okay.
I'll get by the lock and we can get.
Tom, do you want me by the door when do you want
Yeah,
to
yes,
get
we
me
do.
opening
Well,
the door?
It helps if you got the key to be next to the door now, doesn't
I've
it?
got the
Come
key. Yeah, I'll put the key in, and so Lynn puts the key in and opens the door up, and basically what you can see in front of you is a fairly long hall. If you click on the door, you should be able to open it.
As she leans down, I'm going to look at Tom and make sure it's not in the recording view and just do the crazy emote for her.
Yeah.
Just look.
Yeah, I got you. Keep an eye on this one.
Yeah.
You
Go
open the door.
inside. Yes.
There we go. As you walk into the main hallway, I'd like you to give me a spot hidden roll, please.
Okay. All of us?
Yeah.
I am just terrible today.
Oh, look at that. Nice regular success there.
Wow.
Wow.
All three. So
You better believe it.
all three of you noticed that Lynn had only a few seconds ago said to you that he hadn't been in the cottage for weeks, a few weeks at least. But you notice as you walk in the door that there's no junk mail, there's no letters, there's no newspapers, there's nothing that's been put through the letterbox. The floor is absolutely completely clean, which she thinks quite odd, bearing in mind that she said that nobody had been in there for some time. As you walk in, on the left and right hand side, you can see various faded prints that seem to be local scenes, rustic buildings, tasteful landscapes, things like that. But it's hard to tell because you're not local yourself, but you're guessing that's what it looks like. If you were to, move one of the prints, you can see that there's there's a clean square behind it, so it's been there for some time. Yeah. Okay. Where would you like to go?
I'm going to just turn to Lynn, who's just opened the door, and say, this is a cleaning job, yeah? The floor's clean, there's no mail. Normally when we do cleaning jobs, and I've done a few, there's normally either mail or the floor's dirty or there's dust. There's no dust here. I said, I'm going to scrape my finger with the wall and go, look, there's no dust. And it might be an easy gig for us. It's a bit odd.
Well, if she moves the frame again, well, there is dust because look.
But there's always dust behind people's paintings, love. That's just how it works. It doesn't matter where you're from.
That's not so much dust. That's where the sunlight's hit the wall and faded the wall, and not faded what's behind the picture.
Yeah, it's all about chemistry, isn't it? You know,
that's right.
Enzymes and things like. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's just I'm just remarking it's a bit unusual, and I'm going to make that on camera as well to say, that's a bit strange. That's how it came.
And Tom like
just
pans
keep
in.
quiet, Simon, because we've got a free night in a pub, and we don't have to pay for petrol then either.
No, I get it, Uncle. Come on.
If you're saying that it's going to take you less time, to do the cleaning.
Well, no, probably the same amount. It's a bigger place than we thought.
We could probably renegotiate the.
That's not what I said at all. What I said is the entryway, which is a bit we've just seen, is very clean and doesn't match what we normally see. That's it. So we'll see the rest of the house and we'll get back to you. Are you going to come with us, or are you going to stay outside?
I'm happy to just wait here by the hall. I've not been in here, but I've been given the keys today by my boss, so I don't really want to go poking around. I'll leave that to you. I'm happy to wait here in the hallway.
Okay, no worries.
Right.
The bathroom's always the worst. The bathroom and and maybe the bedroom. So let's try and find that and just see what we're dealing with.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, Simon, you go and have a look and see if you can find the kitchen.
Okay, no worries. I'll go for that.
And see what it is.
I've found the bedroom. I found a bedroom over here, Uncle. Just this is this room.
Right, I'll have a look in there. Then you go and find the kitchen. And Tom, you getting this?
Yeah, I'm getting it. It's like Scooby Doo with all these doors in here. I'm expecting you to pop out one you didn't go in.
Well, it's a bigger cottage than I thought it was going to be from the outside. A bit one of those TARDISes.
It is. Don't you think it's a bit strange that she got you in for a cleaning job and she hasn't even been here to see the mess?
What mess? And I'm looking around this bedroom and things look neat and tidy.
Paul, as you're in there, you are having a look round. You can clearly see it's a bedroom. The bed is made, and it doesn't look like it's been unmade for some time. You're looking in the wardrobes, and what it reveals to you is that there's men's and women's attire in that wardrobe. And on the dressing table, you could see a sort of silver vanity set, which is a brush, mirror, comb, several tubes of lipstick on it and compacts that were on there, but they're all cracked, very brittle with age. They clearly have not been used for years. And you can see a family picture on the bedside table, which is a fairly classic black and white, a male, female and a young child looking fairly stiff, not uncomfortable, all smiling, but quite formal, if that makes sense.
I'm in the kitchen and I'm going to shout out, Uncle, the kitchen's pretty clean. I've been in the bathroom as well, and I've only had a quick look, but that looks clean as well. I don't know what's happening, but this is odd. I haven't been in a I've only been in one untidy room, Uncle, which is the room to the bottom left. I only put my head in for a second. There's papers and books everywhere, but the kitchen is relatively clean. I'm going to do a spot hidden in the kitchen. Just go through the pans and the table, specifically where the grain is.
Feel free to give me a spot hidden.
And keep your eyes out, Simon, because there's a man and woman stuff in here, and I'm sure she said that it was just the man, Gertine.
Hard success there for Simon, passing his spot hidden check of 65%. You got 16, so well done. Really, there's nothing that stands out in the kitchen. It's probably, from what you've seen so far, the most outdated room in the whole house. It's got a sturdy gas cooker, oven and hob, complete with cast iron kettle. That does look like it should have been condemned years ago.
Yeah.
There's an evil looking boiler that's hidden in the cupboard near one of the sinks, or near the sink.
Yeah.
Now the view from the sink, actually, you can see directly to the woods behind the cottage. And those woods are tall and they span the entire width of the window. There's some wooden windowsills, some matches. And you can see, obviously, two doors. One that leads on to what you're assuming is the back garden, and then one that leads on to a little courtyard type of place at the side of the house. In the kitchen, there's a pair of shoes that are sitting in an old rusty tray lined with newspaper just inside the door. The doormat itself is threadbare. It's still got traces of dried mud that's clinging to it. The pantry, just full of tins, random tins, but you can't really determine the age and contents, and that's really about it. There is
no refrigerator.
There is a refrigerator that's tucked underneath one of the benches, and it's got a tiny icebox, and it's full of sour milk.
Cool. So we know it's like over a couple of weeks, but less than 6 months.
Yeah.
Because milk gets pretty mad. Yeah. So I'm gonna be like, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna, rather than shout that out because that doesn't make sense, I'll go to the room that Paul's in and just tell him quietly.
Just watch out there, lad. I'm just getting a shot here.
Yeah, no worries. I'll wait for him.
He's
You tell me, mate.
Yeah, Paul, do you think he's got a trouble and strife then?
Oh, either that or he's got different clothes for a Sunday, and there's this lipstick and stuff.
I don't know. It's just wondering. Have you ever come across these documentaries where they capture ghosts and things? This place looks like a gold mine.
Like that Most Haunted thing.
Yeah, like that Most Haunted.
That's all made up. That is.
Well, yeah. I don't believe in it. And
there's no science in that. There's
no. Not to interrupt, guys. Didn't that guy get that Derek Cora guy got exposed? Didn't he? He's a fake.
Yeah, he's a fake. I don't believe in any of that.
Well, we can neither confirm or deny that rumour.
No one's ever captured it on video, have they, Tom? Least of all,
you didn't need to bring that up. It wasn't my fault.
And I'm just going to go over to the dressing table and I want to have a look at these lipsticks and things that are cracked and dried up, just to applying a bit of science to that.
I'm just going to mention to Simon, so Simon's going to mention to Paul just briefly that he's only been gone like a month and a bit because there's still sour milk in the fridge and it hasn't turned really mouldy yet. So he hasn't been gone a long time, which explains why there's no dust.
Yeah.
Which adds to my. I'm going to turn to Tom and say it makes it more suspicious.
Look at this lipstick here. It's dried and cracked, and that suggests that that's not been used for a bit longer than a month.
Are you touching the lipstick, Paul?
Yeah, I've got my rubber gloves on.
As you pick the lipstick up off the dressing table, it literally, apart from a little knobbly bit at the end of it, the rest of it just completely disintegrates. It's just turned to reddish dust on the dressing table top.
Oh no! What's this about? That is, did you get that, Tom? I picked that up and it just powdered.
I got that. It was
I've never seen that again. I mean, I've got no solution here on my gloves at all. It's
but it was just like it crumbled into dusting.
yeah.
Like I
I've
hadn't seen
never-
that before.
I'm just gonna root around to see if there's any drawers that open that I can have a look in. See if there's anything else that.
Yeah, there's some drawers to either side of the dressing table. You open those and you come across various hair rollers and pins, hair pins, nail clippers, things you'd expect to find in a dressing table. All looking fair. They look okay. There's no rust around them or anything like that. The hair rollers don't seem to have any hair in them. Usually you would expect to see some hair maybe, and then, so that's sort of, you notice that they look fairly clean.
Oh,
As you're looking on the table, sorry, Tom.
I was just going to say, Paul, check the panty drawer. That will tell you whether there was a lady here or not, and
It's
or
not.
if it was his mum.
No, it's not one of those documentaries, Tom. Yeah, you know.
No, I'm
Which
trying,
is
I'm trying to say, like, we'll see,
Is it-
because Lynn said that there was only him here, and it seems like that maybe not be the case, and I'm just trying to get the shots, and we get the
I
shots.
don't want to
and-
go rifling through someone's pant drawer while you're filming it.
Well, that's true. I've got evidence, then, haven't I?
Yeah, exactly. It's, you know.
Yeah, you're
no,
right.
we'll-
We're here to clean. We're here to clean.
We'll
Is that Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen coming to paint it afterwards? The guy with the big cuffs.
Oh, I don't know. So I think
Maybe.
it doesn't really need decorating, does it, Tom? Looking at it,
Oh, it's
You know,
it's
it's
a bit
fairly-
strange.
fairly spotless, and he's coming back at some point.
One thing you do notice, Paul, as you're going through the drawers, leaning down into the drawers, and as you look up, you catch the photo again directly at your eye level. It's an old photo. It's an old photo. You would guess the attire would be 30s, if not 40s. The male and the female are both dressed in that type of, at least the earliest day or the latest day would be the 40s.
You see this? Look, come on and look at this. See, if this is Gertin here in this photo, this will be like, I don't know, the 30s or the 40s or something like that. So if he's in this picture, he'd be like 90 or 100 or...
There is a child in the picture.
there's a child.
Yeah,
Or maybe he's the child then, in which case it'd still be old. There's no spring chicken that we're dealing with here.
Might be why we're cleaning his flat.
I reckon he's dead.
This might be his mum and dad's room. That would explain the lipstick. Maybe it was just old and decayed. Enzymes got involved and did that sciencey stuff.
Yeah, let's check some of the other rooms out.
Okay, well, we're
Yeah.
going to cut across to Simon at that point, who is in another room. So, Simon, you are in what appears to be a sitting room.
Yeah.
And it's fairly informal, but there's no television or anything like that. There's an old radio, an analog radio, no digital or anything like that. A small turntable as well, and with a few LPs stacked around it, some 78s, like the stuff you've seen already. The wallpaper, paintings and drawings. It all gives a sort of late 70s vibe. There's not much more in there. That's more earlier than the 80s. There's a few romance novels as well, some westerns.
How's the dust level? Is it looking still pretty clean?
Dusty, more dusty than a normal lived-in room, but nothing that would be unusual for a house that hadn't been lived in for a few weeks.
I'm gonna have a good rummage around all the areas, see if there's any priceless antiques among the records, for example. So I'll go for a spot hidden.
Okay.
You never know, we're gonna find something amazing.
A 14.
I'm wasting all my rolls. I know it's going to go wrong.
Get you with the good rolls.
Yeah. Once in a lifetime, nah. Unless I'm setting fire to stuff, but that's another game, another time.
There were matches in the kitchen, mind.
I've got a light on me. So, is there any of interest here? I can see there's a book on the table.
Yeah, that's a Western style book. Blood at High Noon, I think the title reads. It's well thumbed.
Trash.
It's well thumbed. You look on the back of it, and it's got a sort of sticker that says sort of £1.99 on it, picked up from the sort of local charity shop. You do rummage through the LPs, and there's a fair amount of Cliff Richard in it. There's some Barry Manilow in there as well. Coco Cabana, I believe, was in there, but nothing that would you would immediately recognise someone being the age that you are, and nothing that would sort of spring to mind and looks fancy. It all looks. There's some very young Cliff Richard stuff though when he was with the Shadows.
Okay, that is really good. That's cool. I'm going to move on then. I'm going to say, Paul, this room's clean, as in it just needs banging and tagging. It shouldn't take more than an hour or two so far, from what I can see.
Yeah.
How are you getting on so far?
We're just going to have a look in this room here quick.
Okay, I'm going to follow you in.
Head through into this other bedroom, which is...
I'm going to stay behind Tom and let Tom do his business. I don't need to be in the shop.
Okay, you walk into both. Tom's in the doorway and Paul's in the main room. This bedroom is unkept. The bed is not made. It's clearly slept in. There's books all around the sides of the bed, piles and piles of books, old paperbacks, library books, all over, probably at least 15 to 20 either side of the bed. Again, mainly romance and westerns from what you can see at a quick glance. Yeah. And on the table in front of you, in front of the window, you can see sort of a hairbrush and a mirror, and that's about it.
I'll take the books to the left. You go take the books to the right.
Yeah, have a look in these. There appear to be a few library books amongst them. Simon, have a look at the little bit of paper inside. See if they they were stamped.
Okay.
Yeah, let me do a couple of scans with my camera, see if there's anything special there, and doing that.
I'm nailing them. Never spotted them.
I've got something to tell you, lads.
Yeah.
This place is a bit clean. I don't think it's going to make good TV. You know what I'm saying?
It's not. We could do an advert from it, Tom. You've got to think about these things every opportunity, maximise it.
Can you give me a listen roll, please?
What are you going to do? You're going to be like, we came in, this place was clean, and we pushed the Hoover around, and it's cleaner.
We'll just we'll get a picture of it from the outside, and then we'll just get a picture of it in the inside when we're done it, and then that's the advert.
I've got an idea.
You can do a bit of that. You can do a bit of that. Can you do Photoshop and stuff, and Photoshop a bit of dirt on, and then the afters just take it off again?
Got another idea.
Okay, I'm ready to hear it, Tom.
Well, we could mess it up a little bit, couldn't we? Just get
a
bit
flour or something, and
flour and.
As you're talking, both Tom and Paul, you're talking towards each other and at each other, but in the background you can hear some scratching, like a very, very light, and then you pause and you look at Simon, Paul, and Tom, you look at Simon because you might think he's been rummaging around in the books and stuff, but you definitely heard a scraping.
Leave it out, kid.
Wasn't me, mate. I'm not scraping anything. I've been careful. They're library books, mate. I respect them.
Yeah, I think I've worked out what this job is. I think they've got like a bit
Cats.
of a rodent problem.
Is that what I did?
Scratching. I did think I maybe saw some like little black dirts in one of the cupboards in the bedroom. They eat things like lipsticks and plastics and stuff like that because it wears their teeth down.
Yeah, but it didn't look like it was eaten. It was just dry.
It just sort of disintegrated, didn't it? Where they'd eaten all the casing, maybe.
Well, where did you hear the noise from, gentlemen?
Just
around.
I can't really pinpoint that. If they were to guess, they would probably say below. Okay. Below them.
I'm going to say to Rob, boys, I'm going to check one of the other rooms while you're doing this. So far, it's been a bit of a bust.
Well, you carry on, but the more you run away, the less you're on camera. This is meant to be your big debut, isn't it?
No, for me, it's all right. It's all right.
I could come with you.
You can if you want, Tom.
Yeah.
I'll go and check out the larder and the bathroom.
Okay.
Before you get out of there, Paul, just check that table in there. See what's in there, maybe. Check that comb and stuff, because there wasn't any hair in the other. the other stuff.
Okay, good idea. I'll just have a.
Yeah, this looks like a fairly used comb. Plenty of darkish brown to grey hairs in it. Nothing unusual.
Right. So this is obviously the room he lived in, and the other one was just maybe it was a guest room, or he had a lodger or something.
Yeah, maybe that sounds reasonable.
We'll stick with Paul for the time being. Paul's gone into the toilet. Fairly standard toilet. Nothing of note there. There would be a shaving sort of cupboard on the right hand side as you walk in at eye level, so he could do some shaving. The toilet probably could do with some cleaning, but nothing that you've seen worse. You've seen a lot worse.
I'll just have a look in that cupboard in the vanity unit and just see if there's any dangerous medications or something that need to be disposed of, and then I'll just lift up the toilet.
No medication, but what you do see is some tub of what's called Brill cream that looks like it's come from the 70s as well, and some Old Spice aftershave as well.
Nice.
Okay, and I'll just quickly lift the toilet lid up and just inspect, because that's always one of the worst places to.
You lift the toilet seat up and you see what you expected to see. It could do with a very good bleaching,
but again, lads, there's nothing too sinister here.
You go into the next door to the toilet, and clearly some sort of pantry, some shelving all around it. There's various bits of mouldy fruit now. So it does whiff a little bit in here as well. This is where clearly some fresh produce had been stored, was in some boxes and some bowls and some crates. There's plenty of old mouldy bread, apples, pears, that type of stuff. But it's all looking pretty.
Any sign of mice or rats in this room given the food?
No, it looks like the food is decomposing without any sort of interference. You can't see any sort of half-eaten fruit or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay, so moving down to Simon and Tom, who've gone into what you would consider to be the parlour. It's got a tiled fireplace in the wall opposite the door. There's a large mirror in a heavy gilt frame that hangs above it. There's a single photograph in an ugly frame that sits on the mantelpiece. And again, it shows a couple in sort of 1930s, 1940s style clothing standing behind a young boy of about 5 or 6. 2 matching armchairs in the parlour. There's a bookcase that's opposite the window. It's got china ornaments and pieces of crystal and bits and bobs in it. And there's a coffee table by the side of one of the sofas, and then on that there's a sort of big, fairly large black leather bound book.
Yeah, I'll make sure I've got my gloves on, and then I will open the book.
So just out of character, Jake, so we're playing Call of Cthulhu 7th edition, and you want to open the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you sure? As Simon's doing this, I put my camera down onto the chair, and I just pull my hip flask out and just unscrew the top. That warms the cockles, and I'm going to wander over to the knickknacks on the shelf and start having a little look.
Just on my back to open it, I'm going to turn to Tom as I see him coming across and say, "Bit of a weird house, isn't it?"
Yeah, a bit of a weird house. Do you want a bit
creepy
of this?
Vibe? Yeah, go on then.
Yeah,
Lynn's going to pop her head around the corner. Is everything okay? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a bit of work to do. I think it's perfectly within our capability.
Do you think 2 days is going to be enough time to get it?
Pushing it, but I think if we pull the stops out, we could get this one nailed within 2 days.
Yeah, I want to get the shots as well.
Oh, that's good, because I didn't really want to go back to the environmental office manager and have to say that we're going to have to spend more money on more days. So if you could do it in 2 days, that would be great.
While she's talking, I'll open the book.
So opening the book up, you immediately can tell that it's a family Bible. It's the Gertine family Bible. Its name's in there. On closer examination of the book, you can see that there's been a detailed family tree that's been drawn across several pages, tracing the family all the way back to the turn of the 19th century. Flicking further through it, you can come across some fairly charming pencil sketches of people who you're assuming are Gertine's ancestors. Checking the date on Gertine's birth reveals that he was born in 1945, and his full name is Gilbert Oswin Gertine.
Okay.
Page still going through it. You come across several pressed flowers, are quite faded with age, that have been tucked right down into the crevice of the book, and some locks of hair as well.
Yeah.
And a few pages have been marked with strips of ribbon, which includes the Book of Samuel has been recorded, and it's at the point where the Philistines craft golden rats as compensation payments to the Israelites for having stolen the Ark of the Covenant. Seems to be a favourite passage of Gertine's.
I'm just going to put the book down and be like, weird guy.
I always think it's weird. Why do you keep hair? It's
And hair and flowers in the Bible boss. Weird guy. Who does that?
There's a door over here. I never noticed it on the way in. Hang on a second. Let me just. There's just I think the last room, and we've got a complete handle on this place.
Yeah, I'll have a little look, see if there's any other weird stuff on this shelf. I'll get some close-ups and things.
Oh.
Yeah, no worries.
And I call out. This room's a bit of a mess. I need some extra work in here.
I'll come in. Oh yeah, you're right. Yes, definitely a mess. I'll call that as well.
Oh, Lynn pipes ahead round the corner and says, "Oh, that's pretty bad. That'll probably take quite a few hours to tidy up. That I would have thought."
Tom, get this one on camera.
Yeah, I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah, no worries.
Come on, I'll come in a minute. And I'm just perusing the shelf a little bit longer, see if there's anything of interest or.
You're going through the ornaments and the glass and the like, and you're lifting them up to see what sort of you can spot underneath. You've been around the block a little bit and would know a decent ornament, but most of it is tat, to be honest with you. Stuff.
Just out of interest, is there any rats as an ornament?
I don't know. I'll have a little look.
Please, cheers.
There's none. There's the classic ballerinas and clowns and
This would even make a monkey on the Antiques Roadshow. Anyway, let's get in and have a little look.
So the room that Paul and Simon are now in is the dining room. Couldn't really be much more different to the parlour. The parlour is well turned out. There's not a lot of disruption there apart from the book on the table. But this one, there's a sort of sturdy old-fashioned table in the centre of the room that's covered with scrapbooks and stacks of newspapers and magazines. There's scissors, there's a pretty foul-smelling glue pot and a brush which is completely dried up. Flicking through the scrapbooks, you do come across a fairly large collection of articles and pictures that relate to things like rats, mice, gerbils. There's fairy stories, there's fiction, there's scientific articles, there's adverts for poisons and traps. And they go back decades. Some of the oldest you can see have actually been written in like a child's handwriting. There's notes in the margins and there's notes on the paperwork, but in that very distinctive sort of childish writing. But the scrapbook also contains drawings of rodents and also designs for traps as well. Slightly older hand drawings that you can say, but still childlike. There's also, in between these sorts of pictures, there's pictures of like a green faces, leafy faces and leafy men, leafy women. But yeah.
This is all weird. I'm not really sure what's going on. Everyone got to have a hobby.
Yeah, I suppose so. He's a weird old duck, though.
You look on the you look away from the table, and on the wall that's opposite the window, you can see a fairly large painting of a green man, and it's fairly crude, but it's an effective painting. But yeah, it's like a landscaped picture of a leafy green man.
Okay, am I all right to leave you in here? Me and Tom will have a look around the grounds. Maybe you can get some better shots because this is the really only untidy room. Maybe there's an untidy shed that we can
Let
get
me have
a good
a.
picture of.
Well,
me-
she
let
did
me get some
mention
shots.
outbuildings, didn't she? They
Yeah.
needed to be. I think she
Cleared.
said disposed of.
Yeah, cleared. She wanted cleared.
Yeah, let's have a. Oh, I'm gonna zoom in onto the picture of the green man, and can I see if I can see any? I might recognize this, maybe occultish kind of things.
You zoom in, and so you're very close up now, looking through the viewfinder of the camera. I take it, yeah.
Yeah,
You can see that there's. Oh, hello. Who was that?
that was me. I did an occult roll.
Oh, okay. And you got a 6 out of 45.
I got a 6 out of 45.
Excellent.
What?
Like this is all like hokum. Some of it might be true.
Based on that roll, what you can see is that it's a painting. It's an original painting. There are brush strokes that you can see once you've zoomed in. The landscape itself is a fairly nondescript landscape. It's green meadows, hedgerows that dissect. Yeah, pretty similar actually to what you've got behind you, with a green man at the forefront who is head to foot covered in what looks like leaves. Other than that strange pictorial representation, there isn't nothing that you would see that you would immediately recognise as an occult symbol or occult focused.
Yes, it's nothing, lads. It looks like he's a bit of a hobbyist, a bit like Bob Ross.
But based on that very good spot hidden roll, as you're panning around the painting, you pan away from it, and you
Occult roll.
Oh, sorry, occult roll. No, that's fine. I'm still happy to go with it. As you pan around the room, going up and down the picture, you notice that because you're so zoomed in, you noticed tucked away in one of the sideboards is some photographic albums by the looks of it. You can see the sort of film. You know how that looking at a photographic album from the sideways. You notice that.
Yeah, pull down there, mate. Pull that out. There's something wedged down in there. You go and have a little, give it a yank. Looks like a book or something.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's it.
Pull it out.
Yeah, careful. Don't want to break it.
And I'll open it up and.
Okay, yes, so you can see in there that it's a fairly classic family album. It's not all the way filled in, and there's quite a few blank, non-filled in pages towards the end of the book. The images that are in there look very much, as you start at the start, late war 45, 50s, black and white photos, and generally working from the fashions that you can see that are contained within the photos. You can see the various family photos through the 50s, 60s and 70s, but only going up until about the 70s. They all seem to be taken around, or so certainly from the little that you've seen driving through the village, the church that you saw at a distance, the road leading into the village. All of the photos that you can see are taken in and around Muscoby, or in green fields that look similarly to the fields around Muscoby. There's woods in the distance as well. There's no photos of any holidays. There's no photos of any seafront walkings or anything like that.
Yeah, this guy seems like he's obsessed, gentlemen. I mean, take some pictures of the books.
Obviously, he likes it here.
It's all this rat stuff, isn't it? It's a bit weird.
Well,
As I say, everyone's got to have a hobby.
These religious types, like they find a verse before they're on WWF with it written on a sign. Doing all that, like,
I blame the internet, to be fair.
But there's no computers there. If you
that's true.
Technology.
Or maybe he goes to the library.
Oh, hold on.
No, he's interested in books and stuff. Maybe he goes there and gets some books out about rats and.
You've noticed if you search of books when you were looking in the other room and in here as well, there's a number of library books from Ashford's library, which is the town that's about 15 miles away or so.
They've got a huge data hub in there.
Yeah, they do, but come on, he doesn't look like a guy that's using a computer, does he? We haven't seen smartphone chargers. There's no phones here. It's pretty archaic. Like I haven't seen a cordless.
What was his name again? It was Gillian. Something
Gilbert Gertine.
Yeah, that's right.
Gilbert Gertine. And Tom pulls out his mobile phone. Give us a second, lads. I'll just type it into Google, see if he's got I'm just curious. I want to know what he looks like.
Can you give me a luck check, please, Tom?
A luck check?
Yes, please.
You can indeed.
This will be where your dice run out.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you pull your smartphone out, you look down at it, and there's 0 bars on your signal.
Maybe I'll go outside.
Yeah, I don't think there's been much signal up in here.
This piece of junk. Hey, look, the screen's cracked and everything. It's
Lynn sees you as you walk past the doorway to she sees you got your phone in your hand. You won't. I doubt you'll get a signal round here. We don't get really very good signals down here.
All right then, Tom. Let's crack on, mate.
We don't really need the phones, really.
What do you mean, Lynn? Everyone needs a phone.
Well, we all know each other, and we just go and see people, really, rather than what do you do? We don't message people very much.
You don't get on the dog and bone and be like, I'll be down the pub tonight.
On the what?
The phone, dog and bone.
No. I've got my phone. I've got the phone at the man hallway. I use that when I need to make a call sometimes. But
the cordless.
No, it's plugged into the wall.
And Tom just sort of shoots a look at Paul.
Yeah.
Let's get out and look around the garden and just see these outbuildings, and then we'll go to the van and get the stuff out, and we'll crack on, because as I said, it's going to take us a while. And the sooner we get on with it, the better. And you can go then, Lynn, as soon as we start work.
Well, I thought we were just scoping it out today, get some shots, and then cleaning tomorrow. It must be getting time to get to the pub.
We'll make a start today, and we'll see if we can get some of it done.
Right.
Give us more time tomorrow to concentrate on other things.
All right, that sounds like a plan.
Okay, so as you're walking around the side of the cottage and sort of down towards what you can see as the outbuildings, that you can see there's a path that leads from the back of the kitchen door into the main outbuildings. There's also a gate and a pathway through to the rear of the property.
I'm gonna have a glance through the window and go, Tom, can I have a gander at this?
Hold on, I've got to catch up with you guys.
Yeah, no worries.
Just getting some more scenery shots. It's a spooky little thing. I've had an idea, my guys. We could make some little short ghost videos, put them on YouTube, get some followers, build my reputation back up.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind helping with that.
You're forgetting one thing though, Tom.
What's that?
Well, we need a ghost.
I've got that sorted, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
It's all right. I reckon Simon will look good in a sheet. We just need some fishing wire and some other little bits. We can stage it.
But we're more science based,
Sometimes you're talking.
Yeah. It doesn't sit right with us, that paranormal stuff.
It's fine. It's still science.
It's all about clickbait, isn't it? Get that thumbnail up on YouTube and people clicking it.
World's most haunted mansion by the man that goes insane. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, fantastic. And it's not even a mansion; it's a cottage. Usually, how clickbait works. Anyway.
Well, it's clickbait, mate. It's clickbait. You gotta make it sound bigger than it is.
It does. I'll delete that bit.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's get a look in this. What is it anyway? A garage or a shed?
Yeah, something like that.
What you can see through the window is it looks like a really quite old-fashioned workshop. There's some benches in front of you with tools and the like on the table, chairs. It's tools or on the top of the table, which are pliers and screwdrivers, and again pretty chaotic. But you'd expect to see that from a workshop. That's what you can see from the window.
Lads, why is there 3 work tables in this place then? I thought it was only him that is that Lynn? Is she square with us, do you reckon?
Nah.
No, I didn't think so. Didn't trust her the moment I spotted her, I reckon.
She's definitely trying to get into something, mate, but I don't think it's the cottage that way.
Up to mischief, that's what it is.
Yeah, I just don't think she's telling us the whole truth, but we don't need the whole truth to get the stuff clean, and that's what we're here for. So,
well, you need something dirty to be clean, mate.
yeah, well, at least we've got those pile of books to sort out, and that's a little bit that'll take up some time, and
we can return them to the library as well. Brilliant footage. You guys are going to make it big.
As you walk into the outbuilding, you can see another privy in front of you. This is pretty disgusting, this one again. It's obviously just an outside toilet that does get used occasionally, but there's nothing other than a toilet and a toilet roll holder.
Weird. It's back in the country, this is.
Head into this little, it's like utility room.
Yeah.
Off a toilet. That's an odd thing.
So in this room, there's what you can see is a whole bunch of ropes, coiled, uncoiled. You've got what look like half-made traps. You've got big pieces of metal. You've got little square bits of wood that you might think would be used as a trap.
If you guys move on, I'll have a little look around, see if I can spot anything.
No,
Tom, this is one of those dungeons.
This one of them. What is it? B&Ms? No, S&M. Oh, we're getting into some
BD and SM, maybe.
I don't know, but this is some messed up stuff. What's it?
What's
he got all these traps for?
Oh yeah, well, he's obsessed with rats, wasn't he? So let's not go anywhere dirty straight away, fellas. It could just be rats, right? That's the logical explanation.
Yeah, let me get some footage of this. This is
a bit more interesting, though.
It's a bit more interesting. Well, like, why have an outside toilet though if you've got an inside toilet? Don't understand it.
There's on each shelf in front of you and in a pile in the corner of the room. Or towards the back of the room near the window, there's just coils and coils of rope of all sizes. It's been frayed, it's been cut. There's long, there's short, and they're piled all over the tables as well. The room that Paul's just walked into, it immediately strikes you as a storage area. Dark brown bottles, metal tins, canisters, drums that are all lined up against one edge of the room. Can you give me, either of you or both of you, a biology or chemistry roll?
Well, I don't know much about biology or chemistry. I don't think I've got them. Have I? I don't think I've got either of them.
Okay, then
I can do a chemistry.
Oh, 67 of a 70% chance.
I know my chemistry.
So you recognise or can tell that what you're looking at here is a mixture of various poisons and herbicides, most of which had been illegal to own or use for quite a few years. There'll be some names that you recognise as being quite dangerous, not generally if they're handled correctly and stored correctly, but there'll be a lot of herbicides here that would not be allowed to be used in any type of commercial or even private manner. The labels are missing for some of the corroded tins, and so you've got no idea what horrors lurk in those, but you will know that there's some pretty potent and deadly stuff in these canisters, and they range from large oil drums all the way through to smaller bottles, some with sprays, some with screw caps and the like.
Okay, I suggest that nobody touches anything in here because this stuff's all dangerous. You could put a body in one of these and it will just dissolve.
A lot of this stuff looks extremely illegal, Uncle.
You don't want to get any of it on your hands or in your eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Full of enzymes, isn't it? I know what's happened.
Yeah.
He's went and gone and bloody poisoned himself, the silly bugger.
Exactly. I
That's-
think this is where the cleanup kind of thing really is. It wasn't the house at all. It's these chemicals, isn't it? And now we're into some dodgy stuff here because you need the license to get rid of this sort of stuff.
I was going to say, you got a license for this?
No.
Well, I ain't got a license for this.
No.
No.
Lads, it will be all right. We'll get it sorted. Don't worry.
Well, nowadays, Tom, you need to be a lab to own some of this stuff.
That's only enzymes, though, isn't it? Just pour it down the drain.
Drain left.
The enzymes might react here, Tom, and you have a bad time.
Right.
So let's go check out the last room, and we're almost done, guys.
You lads got any masks we can put on? I'm feeling a bit uneasy about this.
I've got some stuff in the van. I've got some paper suits, but
As you're thinking through, Paul, thinking through and describing to the others what you're seeing in front of you, you in the back of your head, you're remembering that there was a couple of articles in the trade magazines that you've been reading over the years, but there's a couple of articles that you remember that some of these herbicides here have actually been taken out of circulation by governments, by corporations, because they literally would wipe out and kill anything that they came into contact with, any type of plant life or organic matter.
Yeah, let's not touch them.
just keep your hands to yourself. There's a door here that I think this maybe goes back into that workshop.
Yeah, well, let's get this checked out, and then we go down the pub. That's what I reckon.
Oh, did you say the pub? That sounds good. I've been to a pub for a while. I just tend to get in a bit of trouble.
I'm sure we can keep you out of trouble, Tom.
Gonna have a look around at the tools on the worktops.
Okay, are you picking things up and picking them up and having a look and all that sort of stuff?
Yep.
Can you make a luck roll for me?
I'm also gonna look around, but I'm not gonna pick anything up. Just check for anything that looks out of place.
Okay.
A 59.
Oh,
Very
there it is.
lucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 and 5, 59.
Okay, so both passing. Simon, it wouldn't have really mattered to you too much because you weren't touching anything. But Paul, you have been searching through the desk, picking up the various bits and bobs, and noticed that there's a few of the traps that have been lying about underneath the screwdrivers and the pliers and the like. So you gingerly put things down and make sure that you're really giving things a good look as you're rooting through stuff. You wouldn't want to get your finger or anything caught in those traps.
I think we should get out of this room, because if he had dangerous chemicals in the other room, he might have put dangerous chemicals in the traps. It seems like
That's a good point. We should.
Lads, before we go, though, chuck something at one of the traps and I'll capture it. Just it gives the snap effect. Get a good shot. Just do it from a distance. Chuck a screwdriver into it, or
I'll do that quickly. I'll just grab one right now.
It will get you, like viewers up and everything like that. It shows us the danger that we're up against. Cinematic.
Okay, so I'll grab a screwdriver.
Well, you could blame it.
Trap.
You could, if you don't get us in shot, you could blame that on the ghost, Tom.
That sounds like a good idea.
So I'll grab a screwdriver, which is not by a trap, and then throw it to the nearest one.
As you're looking around as well, you come across and see underneath one of the tables, actually laying pushed to the back against the wall, 2 guns that look to you. One's got sort of 2 barrels to it, and the other one's got a single barrel to it that are just lying right pushed underneath a table.
Simon,
Right, Tom, that looks like a shooter.
that's a shooter, all right. No, I've seen shorter ones than that usually.
Tom would recognise, given his colourful past, he would recognise that one is actually a 12 gauge
Don't know
shotgun.
what you're saying about my colourful past. I'll take umbrage to that. But yeah, that's a 12 gauge down there, and I think there's also a 410. Not too sure.
And point
Umbrage
two
is a
bolt
big
action.
word. It's like enzymes, Tom.
Yeah, enzymes. It's a shooter at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
no, I was wrong. It's a rifle, bolt action rifle.
Oh, well,
there,
I'm gonna
probably used
not.
for ratting.
Yeah, no worries. We're not going to be throwing anything at any traps while there's 2 guns laying on something.
This is quite right. I think I should go and inspect them, make sure they're not loaded. We don't
Yeah,
want anything going off.
No,
I think
and
that might be a great idea.
if something does, then spark with those chemicals, that could be
I think we just leave them where they are for the moment. I think it's really dangerous touching them.
I'll be all right. I'll crack it open, make sure there's no cartridges in there.
Oh, if you're gonna do that, Tom, that's fine. And then I'll walk completely out of the building before he does that. I'll literally just say, "Hey, yeah, no worries," and then I'll look out from there.
Simon, as you're walking out of the building, as you get to what was the outside privy, can you give me a listen roll? And Paul, if you're going that way.
Yeah, can I also pick up one of these hanks of rope?
Yep, of course.
I'm just going to tuck it under my arm because, well, you never know when a bit of rope's going to come in handy.
Yeah, feel free to put that in your inventory. Just rope.
Oh, Paul, you rolled a 51. Spend some luck.
No, it's a lot of luck.
That is a lot of luck, actually.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of luck.
You'd have to spend 26 luck. It's a bit too soon for this old. You don't need luck.
Simon,
Push it.
do you want to do your
I'm a scientist.
listen roll?
I'm a scientist.
Simon, you doing your listen roll?
Jay?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm just trying to find. Listen, 1 second. My brain isn't there. Yeah. Listen, off we go. Nope,
Okay.
I am deaf.
That's fine. Okay, Tom, you were. What are you doing?
Yeah, so Tom's gently. These guns, are they covered in things or?
No, they seem to be laying on a large oiled rag that's sort of also scuffed up, pushed up.
Yeah.
They're laying on top of it, but it's not sort of flat out. It's the shotgun is right towards the back of the wall. The bolt action is in front of it, and the oily rag is underneath it.
Yeah, what I do is Tom gets his sleeve and pulls it over his hand, and he's like, "Right, let's get this little bolt action out first. Have a little look." And yeah, so I get the bolt action and check the chamber.
Yep, nothing in all clear.
And
Quite a well-oiled mechanism as well.
yeah, oh, this is someone's looked after this bad boy. And I'll do the same with the shotgun.
Crank open the shotgun and realise it's got 2 shells in it.
Oh, lovely job. And I pull the shells out and I stick them in my coat pocket.
Yep, you pull the shells out, and they're clearly they're live shells, and they look fairly new. Fairly new.
And yeah, I have a moment where I'm like, oh, so 1930s, 1940s, but these are new shotgun cartridges. There's something doesn't add up here. And yeah, so I put them in my top pocket and place the shotgun back with the rifle.
So
And I just want to look around though and see if I can see any other like boxes of cartridges or.
yeah, on the table directly in front of you, or the table which is has the guns underneath it, is covered with a fair amount of stuff. But you're rummaging around it, the nails, boxes of nails, and yeah, towards the back of the table, you come across two smaller boxes, but clearly one that's containing 8, 9, 10 or so shotgun shells. And another small box to the side of that, which has got a good 30 or 40 rounds of 22.22 ammunition in.
Yeah. Oh, countryside fireworks. And then
They're just on the table. They're not locked away.
It's a countryside. Every farmer and their mum has a gun, as they say in Hot Fuzz. Yeah, so Tom takes them and he actually puts them into his camera bag.
Yeah.
And just zips it up.
But both lots of ammo in the same bag, in the same bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's got 2 in his top pocket.
Yeah.
Just for clarification, when we say 2.2, do you mean actual rounds as an ammo, or a 2.2 as an air rifle?
Rimfire.
Okay.
Rimfire bolt action, from what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, I'm heading back to the van.
Yeah.
I'm going to also head back towards.
And I'm going to go and get some of my protective equipment on.
Is she still here though?
Lynn is just comes out of the front door as you walk round and says,
So just before that,
"Yeah,
I'm going to say to Paul, before we go back round the corner, she can hear us. So before that happens, make sure it's very much a whisper. I'm like, what are we going to say? Because there's dangerous chemicals, firearms, and poison traps. We shouldn't be clearing that. Cool. It's very much.
I still think we can do it though. It's good money.
It's good money, but it's super dangerous. Those chemicals can lit skin.
I can see what the labels are on the barrels, but I just want to have a look inside just to see if it actually is or what quantity we're talking. There might be nothing in them. But I just think I need to get my mask and some stronger gloves. And
we should do that tonight, though. Mate. We maybe do that tomorrow. There's not much to do in the house, is there? I can clear the house in an hour.
By the time you've had the whole look around the house, and this is out of going for just a second, you'd have met Lynn around about 9:30 in the morning at the car park, and I would say the time now is probably around about 11, 11:15. So it hasn't taken you too long to go through that. You've literally skirted through each of the rooms, giving them a sort of quick glance and making an assessment. So yeah, I'd say about 11:30. Let's say 11:30.
Okay, then Uncle, we get the stuff and have a look. At least get the house clean today, and then we can worry about the heavy duty shit tomorrow.
So Lynn comes out the front door and sees Simon directly in front of her. Oh, how was that all right? If you had a chance to look round, and going to be any problems? Are there?
It's a bit more work than we thought, and probably a bit more work than we quoted for.
Oh,
when you weigh up the whole thing, it's a bigger cottage than I said initially, and yeah, it's going to take us a while. But I'm just getting some stuff out the van here, and we're just going to make a quick start today.
Oh right, okay. Well, I mean, it's 11:30. I mean, how?
And I'm pulling on a biohazard suit and a face mask and some long black gloves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pest control, was it, Lynn?
Yeah. I mean, yes, that's what he does. Yes, yeah. That's his job.
Oh, so he's like a ratter.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. He is. That's what he's.
Lots of issues with those in the village.
No.
Because he captures them all. Right.
He's family of. That's what they do. That's what they've done. That's what they've been here in Muscoby for. That's their purpose.
Oh, so when they're not in hospital, you ain't got any problems.
We don't really want to talk about the hospital. Like I said, the tourist was absolutely fine in the end. But
what tourist is that, by the way? Just out of interest, a small village like this, you probably don't get tourists.
She's going to sigh at this point, and you sort of warn her down. Well, look, it wasn't his fault. The tourist was coming down on the bikes. They didn't really see what he was doing, and there was a bit of a crash, and he's spending a bit of time in hospital over at Appleford, and he should be fine. But the tourist was absolutely fine, but he took a nasty blow, and he's been there for it's probably nearly 6 weeks now. He's because of his age, they want to make sure they're looking after him, and he keeps having dizzy spells and the like. So they've decided to keep him in, but wanted to.
Which hospital's that?
The hospital near here, 15 minutes away, Appleford's Hospital.
Appleford's. They're both there, are they? Oh.
No, the tourist was fine. They ended up coming away with a scrape, but he was a cyclist, you see, and he just scraped his knees, whereas poor old Gertin crashed a little bit, and that's where he banged his head.
So I understand that, Lynn. I'll just say on camera and just be like, so why are we doing it clear then? I don't really get it. If he's okay, and I just don't understand the reason we'd clear. Is there a specific reason?
This is council property, and although the family lived here for generations now, we wanted to make sure it was tidy for him. And I was told, I'm just doing as I'm told, to be honest with you. I'm just an environmental officer, and my boss has said to me that I needed to get somebody to clear Gertin's cottage. So I assumed that the place was. Well, you can see the front room there. It's in right. What was in the what about these buildings over here? What in these sheds? What?
There's an old workshop, some some
tools.
Yeah, usual stuff for.
Do we need to get rid of those? Do you think, or
not if he's the rat catcher? I wouldn't have thought so. It's you'd be throwing away his business.
Yeah. Well, there's certain things we'll have to get rid of to legally comply, but most of it
To
Most of it
legally
can stay.
comply? What do you mean legally? What does that mean, legally comply?
There's a couple of chemicals that you
I'm a
stop
bit,
that are no longer in
it's-
service.
when we start talking legally, I'm an environmental officer, so I get a bit nervous when somebody says legally.
Well, he's got a couple of pesticides that need to be removed, but we can handle it.
Have you ever heard of
Roundup? No,
Roundup? Gets rid of weeds.
no, I haven't heard of that.
No. Interesting.
All right, okay. Well, he probably
He's got some
uses it.
industrial chemicals, and
probably-
unless we can see a license, we have to remove them.
It's probably for the rats, maybe, isn't it? Do you think the rodents?
Oh no, absolutely, it's for the rats. But some of these chemicals are a bit out of date, so they need to be removed. We'll leave him all the stuff that he needs for his job. Don't worry.
Do poisons go out of date? Do they? Do they have a date?
Well,
They just get stronger, I reckon.
Well, it's
my
the
fault.
enzymes.
Well, Tom,
all about enzymes.
Yeah, no, I heard you talk about enzymes, Tom. So you clearly know about all these sorts of things.
Yeah, chemicals and enzymes and things, they get stronger, more potent, even.
Oh, well,
It might cost you a little bit more.
yeah, I'll have to speak to my boss about that. But if we can say a couple of days, then that would be good.
I think the original quote still stands as far as I've talked to my uncle so far. So unless we need anything else, we'll let you know.
Okay. What's the plan now then?
Okay, back in the chemical
Yeah.
ram, and
Yeah.
I've got my hazmat suit on.
Yeah.
I'm just going to gingerly lift up the lid on a couple of the containers to see if the contents matches the description that's on the side, and also to see what volume we're looking at.
Yeah. Okay. So you open the first one up, and it does come loose quite easily. It's not stuck or anything like that. So it's clearly been used recently. I'd say that the container you're looking into is about 3/4 of the way full with a brownish liquid, and with your experience in sort of chemicals and chemistry, it would match what the description is on the label. It doesn't look unusual. With your hazmat suit on, you can't really get an idea of smell or anything like that, but because obviously I would assume you've got some filtration on your mask, but the liquid looks, jiggle it about a bit, not too much, and it's quite thick, but it's not treacle.
Okay, I'll look at some of the other ones and just select some at random, just see if it's the same sort of deal or whether any of them are empty or...
No, there's a couple that are getting lower. So there's maybe a quarter in there, less than a quarter, but there's nothing that you would see in there that's unusual. It's as you would expect to see it, but from the stuff that you can see and have opened, and the stuff that has got labels on it, it does match your understanding of what it would look like.
Okay.
Simon, as you're walking around and going in and out of the kitchen, you've noticed the back part of the building, and there's a fence that's neat, and obviously you're backing into the woods, and there's a pathway that does lead into the woods.
Yes. I noticed this. I'm just going to look around the back of these sort of like entries, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have a good walk around the grounds, see if I can spot anything.
Nothing that stands outside of the normal. You do notice that the woods that surround the cottage are very established. That the trees, certainly the oaks and the ashes that you can see, there's a mixture, would have been there for a lot of years, 40, 50, 60-year-old trees at least.
Cool. I'll grab some bags, probably from Paul, and if Paul hasn't got them, I'll go to the van to get them and start bagging or tidying the library books, basically carefully tidying everything as agreed. But what we've agreed for the job in the rooms. So I'll make the bed, start tidying the books into reasonable order, throw the glue in the bin, all that sort of stuff to tidy the house. It shouldn't take too long to do that because the house is in pretty good state, and then bleach the toilets, etc. That's what I'll start doing.
That's going to take you like a good couple of hours.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going to focus on until something else.
We won't jump that far forward in time, but Lynn's going to wander around as you're doing this, just not keeping an eye on you, but maybe having something to do.
Yeah.
And she's going to catch up with Paul in the top of near the woods, and so the time is getting on now. It's by the time you've had a look through all the chemicals and done a little bit of tidying up, it's probably about midday by now. It's entirely up to you, but I have. If you wanted to, I've got some. I didn't know if you wanted to go and get some lunch. We've got a tea shop that's down the road. I took the liberty of telling the owner that we might pop in for a bite to eat, but it's entirely up to you.
Well,
Yeah.
you could always get some sandwiches and bring them back, maybe, and let us crack on here. There's a few things we need to do. Or if we just had maybe a bit more time, we could have a late lunch.
Oh yeah, I'll leave it to you. I mean, I don't mind waiting a little bit longer if you want to have something to eat later.
Tom hears this and sticks his head into the house. Did someone say lunch? That would be kind of not like tea and cakes.
Well, it's a tea shop, so yeah, they do cakes and they've got tea as well.
How do you eat your scones? Do you like cream and jam or jam and cream?
I do it the proper way, which is jam and then cream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just checking. Some people you can't trust if they do it the wrong way.
Oh,
Heathens.
People have had to move out for things like that around here. We don't encourage cream first and then jam on the top in no way, shape or form.
What's the name of the... I could just pull out my map, can't I? Oh, Lucy's. Yeah, we could go to Lucy's, couldn't we? Do they do a good fry-up?
I don't really eat fry-ups, but she might be able to fry you some stuff up.
Oh, Paul, let's go get something to eat, mate. We could come back. It's not going anywhere, is it?
Okay, yeah, I need to get out of this suit anyway. It's a bit hot.
Yeah, they might get a bit of a shock if you walk in wearing that suit, though. It would make good camera footage.
Yeah, I think Paul, you're looking at Paul through his hazmat, and you can see that there's a fair beads of sweat that are coming down off his head, and these hairs stuck to the top of his head, and he looks like he's been through the mill.
Take my mask off and whisper to the both of them. I've had a look in those barrels and they're all pretty much full. Lids don't fit very well, which means we're going to have a job removing them or moving them very far. So I'm thinking we're going to have to try and get them behind that shed and just ditch it in the woods. We shouldn't.
Hey, get the job done, innit? In, out, paid.
Yeah, there's no other way we can move those things. We haven't got we need machines or... Yeah.
I won't record that stuff. Don't you worry about that.
No, we'll go to this cafe and we'll have something to eat, and then we'll say goodbye to her, and then we'll just... I wonder even if I could back the van up and we could just get it into the van and then just drive 100 yards and ditch it in the forest or something like that.
What about using one of those hammers inside the workshop and try and knock the lid on?
That might do, but
it's about getting rid of it, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to spill that on your hands either.
But if my phone was working, I'd give a call to one of my mates, but no signal at the moment.
When I'm in the village, you might be able to make a call.
What does he do, your mate?
You don't really want to ask that. He just does stuff.
He's not he doesn't procure like PPE or something like that, no.
No, I'm sure he's not that then. Like, he's...
I'm sure he procures certain objects. Is that right, Tom?
Well, he procures certain objects.
And disappears certain objects.
And disappears, that's quite right.
Yeah. I think I get the gist.
Moves objects.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a removal man, should we say?
Let's say that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure he's got his chemical license as far as all three of us are concerned, so that's good.
He's got any license you want.
All right, good. And look, I'm well hungry now, though, I've got to tell you. I'm starving.
You're probably all three of you have been on the road for some time, obviously trying to get up here this morning and meeting at the car park at 9 o'clock. So, yeah, moving on for sort of midday now, you are, as soon as Lynn's mentioned food, it becomes a bit of I didn't quite realise how hungry we were. So we'll change scenes and we'll move across to the tea shop.
In the drive, I'll be saying to Simon, I'll be like, don't you think it's a little bit strange how she talks about the people of the village? Like, we do this and we do that, and
small town mentality, Simon. That's what it is.
Right.
That's what I reckon.
It's all curtain twitching around here.
Yeah. They're so backward around here, mate. They're up their own asses, I reckon.
That's what I thought. It just seemed a bit odd. That's all.
Let me know when you've all loaded.
Yeah, I just need a
Mine's still-
token for visibility.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, same.
me too.
Let me drag a token out for you.
Oh. Welcome to the tea shop.
Okay, so outside of the tea shop, you can see that the sort of picnic table that's held down with red and white gingham tablecloths. There's a patch of stone flagging in front of the tea shop. There's an old sign actually for the post office that can be seen clearly on the wall above, but still remaining sort of a red painted post box as well. Given the sort of it's still fairly drizzly day, there isn't anybody actually sitting outside at all. So let me know when you want to go in.
Walk inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
All inside.
Tom will be taking some time, like taking some shots with the camera and looking around and just looking for things that are a little bit peculiar for a good shot before going in. And then he.
So you enter the
Just shout out to the girl behind the counter. Are we okay to sit anywhere in here, or you haven't got any tables reserved or anything like that?
No, you take a seat. That's absolutely fine. I'll be with you in 2 seconds.
I'll have this one by the window if that's
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, I'll take one here.
Hang on just 2 seconds because my sheet seems to have locked itself. I can't move it. There we go. I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. That's better. So you're all sitting down. So when you're in the tea shop, you can see that the classic sort of brass bell above the door rings. There's several tables inside. They're all covered with a sort of fairly cheery gingham fabric. Each of them is sort of decorated with a jam jar or of fresh flowers as well. Local artists' watercolours cover the walls. Archetypal British
How much are the
t-shirt.
watercolours?
They're looking at them priced. They'll range between sort of £15 and £25.
Not bad, not bad. Nice scenes too.
The lady that you shouted over to, or not shouted over to, but called over to, maybe a sort of middle-aged woman, dusty blonde hair, appears from the kitchen, and she's going to say, "Okay, yeah, how can I help you?"
Well, I think we'd had lunch booked, didn't we, Uncle?
Yeah,
I think we're looking for all-day breakfast if you do it rather than lunch, though. 3 full English.
Yep, I could. Yeah, I've got some bacon. I've got some sausages. Would you like eggs? And
Yeah.
I could probably.
You got a bit of the black stuff as well.
I think I might have some black pudding kicking
No,
about.
no, love, no coffee.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
And I'll have a bit of black pudding as well.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem at all. I will be right on it. I'm gonna go and I'm working on my own. So just bear with me while I get everything sorted out. So
Yeah, of course we can. Oh, that was it.
She's gonna go back over to the kitchen, and there's pots and pans rattling. There's no doorway or anything like that. You can see her scuttling away, digging through the fridge and grabbing some eggs and some bacon and some sausages. And before long, you can hear the sort of the rustling of sausages being cooked. And she shouts around the corner, "I've got some black pudding. Did you all want black pudding?"
Yeah, and mushrooms as well if you got them, and some beans, tomato, egg, hash browns.
A full English.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll see what I can do. I can't promise I've got all of that, but you'll have a plate full of food.
Yeah, no, good with me.
Tea and toast.
Coffee.
As a matter of course, you'll bring. Do you want coffee or tea, all of you?
I'll have tea, please.
I'll have tea, please.
Yorkshire tea, if you've got it.
Yeah, we've got Yorkshire tea, so we can do that. And you want the coffee and you want the tea. So yeah, I'll be with you in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Hashtag sponsor Yorkshire tea. Yorkshire tea. Hashtag Yorkshire tea.
Hashtag Yorkshire tea.
Simon,
Sorry, yeah. Go on.
Simon, you wanting one of them Heineken things that you like?
I do. Hashtag Heineken sponsor us. Hashtag Heineken.
Well, I see they've got an alcohol license.
Maybe it might be a bit early for me right now, Uncle. To be fair, it's only 1 o'clock.
Oh, you're young.
Yeah, I'm gonna wink at Tom when I do that. I'm gonna say to Tom really quietly. I bet you. Do you know why I'm having tea, Tom?
Why's that, Simon?
Because I can guarantee you, mate, you're gonna have instant coffee. And do you know what they say about instant coffee?
What's
It's
that?
rubbish.
Unless you got what I got. And I just pat my other chest pocket with the hip flask in it.
All right, okay, yeah.
It's all about adding your syrups.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna nod smart. Go, yes, syrups. That's what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
So she's going to bring over the 2 teas on a tray, and she's done 2 pots of tea as well, 2 little pots of tea, and a cup of coffee as well. So she's going to place them on the table. So the food's all on the go. I managed to find some mushrooms. Yeah, we've got mushrooms, got beans. Haven't got any hash browns. We don't do the continental stuff down here. So I'll do some fried bread if that's okay.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Lovely, yeah. You can't beat fried bread.
That'd be nice. So, how long you been working here, love?
Oh, I've been here a few months now.
Oh, you look a bit young to be owning a building. Yeah, you look lovely.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Oh, he's a charmer, this one.
Well, I didn't go to the University of Cunning for nothing.
And Lynn's obviously gone back to the council offices, has she? Or yeah.
She must have. I thought she was in the car, but obviously
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I thought she was actually coming for lunch.
She doesn't come in here very often, to be honest with you. She's no.
So you've been here a couple of months, eh? How
Yeah.
long? Yeah, enjoying it. Much trade.
Well, no, it's not really, to be honest. It's a bit disappointing.
The only tourist you had coming in got bloody knocked off a bike, didn't he?
You're talking about stupid old Gertin.
Yeah.
He's causing us all sorts of problems. He's got such a bad reputation. People don't want to come here. How can we get tourists coming here when we've got his revolting habits all up and down the village?
What do you mean by revolting habits? Come on.
Knocking guys off bikes.
That hasn't helped. That was a tourist, and he's been knocked over, and stupid old.
He doesn't do that thing where he ties rats up by their tails to barbed wire and things like that. And
have you seen it? I thought you might have seen it. Yeah,
and
that
moles
doesn't.
and things like that.
Yeah, it does put the tourists off.
It just dates back to the medieval times when the peasants who were doing the pest control had to prove how many they'd killed.
Well, you tell that to Tony and Sheila from Eastbourne when they come up here for their holiday. They don't want to be seeing that, and then they don't come in here. And I've hardly broken even since I've took this place on. I was coming here.
How long you lived here, love?
Well, I've been here been here a few months now. 5 months, and
you've had this shop. You've been here a few months. Have you found the village? It seems a bit, I don't know, the greater good from Hot Fuzz, is it? We do this, we do that.
I haven't heard that one. What's that one? Hot Fuzz? No, don't.
Brilliant film.
Yeah, very good film. Very good. But no, has it ever struck you as a bit weird? The village seems to be a bit, set in its ways.
And that's why, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come here. It's a proper English village.
Just between me and you, I don't think Gerbert will be around much longer.
Hey, Simon.
Yeah.
Come on.
Tom, maybe you could do an advert here.
Oh yeah,
drum up some business and improve the tourism.
Sorry, dear, I didn't catch your name, by the way. Lucy. Oh, of course, Lucy's calf, isn't it? If you sign this form, and I plop a form on the table, we're doing a documentary.
No, I don't think I want to be involved in that. I don't mind you filming, but I don't want to be on the film.
What about if we were could I include your calf? Might get a bit of business.
Oh yeah, no, I just don't want to be in it.
Paul here and
I don't want my ex seeing me on the TV.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, you get starstruck, be texting you all the time, and you don't want that.
We still need you to sign the form so we can show you Kath, though. Just
she'll if you get the form out, she'll sign the form. No problem. Right. No problem. You're very knowledgeable, aren't you? She's looking at Paul at this point. I mean, what did you say? Medieval?
They used to, people see the rats hanging from the fences. I think it's to scare other rats away, but it's not. It's just how the rat man gets paid by the tail. But you know, someone just needs to tell that Gertine that you can take a photo of them. You don't need to tie them to a fence no more.
Oh, I agree. I think it's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Agreed. They're already rodents as it is.
Do you have much rat issues around here then?
No, but
So he's doing his job right then.
well, yeah, but he doesn't have to hang them up all over the place. If he didn't hang them up all over the place, then you know they're just revolting habits in front of customers and.
Did you talk to him about it?
I can't. I'm new. He's been the rat catcher here for decades.
I think they call them pest control now. I don't think you're allowed to say rat catcher. It's derogatory. I think political correctness and stuff like that. It's pest control personnel.
Pest control PCP. Pest control personnel.
You can't
who knows? He's got a license.
The rat man or whatever. Because what if he was a woman? You know, it's
well, would it? Yeah, well, I don't think it's really a job for a woman. But then
I get a feeling. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel that him nailing rats up and isn't the only bad habits he's got. You say bad habits, like he does multiple different things.
I don't really know him. I don't really know him very well. Like, I mean, I've seen him in the village around, and I've seen the rat bunting, if you want to call it the rat bunting. The only people I know that knew him or know him very well is old and young George. They're the only people that really would have a good idea about Gertin. But they've moved away now. They're over at Appleford and they're running the Golden Ram over there now.
Oh, we got a room there. We have.
Oh,
yeah, tonight.
What's it like there?
Oh, it's nice. Yeah, I mean, it's a pity this one's shut down, the Rat Catcher's Arms, but it's very nice. Yeah, old and young George. They used to live here. They moved. They had enough of the place.
They used to live here in the cafe?
No, not here in the cafe. They used to live here in Muscoby.
Oh, right, okay. They've moved out the village then.
Yeah.
Is that the old rat catcher? Is that just up the road? I saw one.
Yeah, it's shut now. Apparently, it's closed for refurbishment, but it's been being refurbished for a long time. We could do with it being opened again because clearly having a tea shop and a pub, that will draw the tourists in. And as I said, I've been here a few months now and I've hardly broken even.
Who owns that then?
I don't know.
So I've got to say, I saw the gift shop for Muscaby. What? Really? What are you selling?
There's little ornaments and the like, and calendars. The village done one of these naked calendars a while back. I think he was. I think he was November, to be honest with you, but I didn't buy it. That was last year.
I might stick my head in, get some shots of that pub up the road. Looks a little bit spooky for my YouTube channel.
You're on YouTube? I do. Yeah, that's good. I like YouTube. So I'm just going to go back and make sure that your breakfast or lunches aren't burning. So I'll be back in a second. Just going to wander back into the kitchen and continue to use the skillet and the fryer and the like.
This Gertie's an interesting sort, isn't he?
That's one way to put it.
It's just a bit old fashioned by the sound of it.
Well, everything in that house seemed quite old, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just got some strange old ideas. A lot of those books were quite old, and he's just maybe getting ideas from them.
So what's the old plan of action then?
I think maybe we go back, we drop our stuff down at this Golden Ram, and then head back up to the cottage and get the cottage cleaned up today, and then just as we're finished and it's getting dark, we'll maybe get rid of a few barrels and nip back early in the morning, get rid of the rest.
As you finish that, you see Lucy walk back round out of the kitchen, carrying sort of expertly three fairly full plates of English breakfast for you, hands them out, and they're all identical. A couple of sausages, a couple of eggs, some beans, a couple of bits of fried bread, some black pudding, some mushrooms.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Do you know what? That's just what the doctor ordered. That any chance of a bit more coffee?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll go and get you some. No problem at all.
Pop it on Linda's tab.
Well, she doesn't actually have a tab, but I'll see her next time. She'll see me.
That's good. As long as you're looked after for. I think we should tip her, lads. Be polite.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's
Oh.
all tax deductible, isn't it? You know, business expenses.
Indeed. So I was thinking about where to put the thing that we were talking about, that you were saying about. What about if we chucked it in the back of the van, took it down the pub?
Well, if you've
And,
got a guy, well, how do we just give him a call and then he can come and collect, shall we say?
Yeah,
And
but it's
then we
got to
don't
drive
escape
all the
off.
way over. It's gonna cost a lot for him to drive all the way over. I'm thinking we put it in the pub. Their problem, not ours. Then.
Can you all give me a listen roll, please?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, Tom! Come on.
Oh,
92.
Simon.
What was that? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
So, Simon, as the guys are talking and munching away on their breakfast, you do actually hear a scraping noise, and from looking at where you're sitting, it seems to be coming from towards the entrance to the tea shop. Near there's a sort of a door there. That's the general direction you seem to be coming from.
I'll just carry on eating my full breakfast then,
Okay.
as I didn't hear anything.
You did hear it though.
What?
Yeah, you
Oh,
you,
yeah,
you,
oh,
you had
I'm
you had
the
an
only one who did hear it. Okay,
Yeah.
you had an extreme success, right? With all your other extreme successes, you just had another one.
Lovely. Yeah. Okay, so
You can literally, with
Scratch
that roll, you can literally hear people in Appleford talking.
Yeah.
right, indeed. I'm wasting all these rolls now, and my sanity checks are going to destroy me. But anyway, yeah, that's fine. So, okay, lads, do you hear that? I just heard a scratching noise.
Oh, don't hear anything. Where'd it come from?
It came from over here. I'm just going to get up from the table and go towards the door. Can I still hear it?
No.
Oh, well, must be in my imagination voice. And
Oh,
just go back to the table.
she's probably in the kitchen there scraping off some plates or something.
Just out of game a second. Is the floor supposed to be dirty? I'm just checking.
Yeah, it's not overly dirty, but it's just there's muddy footprints and the like. Just where she's probably
okay.
it just needs a mop in. Maybe a few people have been in this morning, and
Okay.
nothing unusual. No.
Okay, sorry. I didn't hear anything, Simon. I was
Oh, okay. We're probably talking to breakfast now. I'm going to also look at the floor and see if do any of the mud tracks look like rat prints.
No, they don't.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Apparently, I'm a disco in my house. It's a random off comment, but yeah. And then I'm just going to carry on eating my breakfast. Then I've got nothing more to share.
Okay.
So I'll be like, yeah, okay. Maybe I'll say maybe you're right, Paul. It was just scraping a plate or something.
here, Linda,
There's no
Lucy, even.
Yeah.
That's it. That's your name, Lucy. Did you hear what Simon heard, or was he going a little bit bonkers?
She walks back out of the kitchen. What did he hear? Did the bell go? Did the bell go again?
The bell didn't go. He said he heard some scratching sounds. Do you hear that often?
Occasionally, yeah.
What,
Tom, is your camera still on?
I can click it on.
No, I mean,
the audio.
yeah,
You guys have been mic'd up for the whole time.
we'll just play that back.
Sounds like a brilliant idea.
We'll play that back and see if we can.
So yeah, you rewind it to a couple of minutes ago, and you're playing it, and as Lucy has brought you your breakfast over, she walks off again. Literally 30 seconds to 45 seconds later, on the audio you do hear her.
There it is.
It reminds me, I best delete some of the stuff we were talking about. If you get what, yeah.
Maybe do that now before we forget.
Yeah, I'll sort it out. Don't worry. Yeah, pick that up. That was loud and clear, wasn't it?
It was. I wasn't getting mad then. It sounded like
Yes.
rat scratchings.
It's that ghost you're looking for.
And on that note of potential ghost rats, and we'll call that session to a halt, and we'll see where Simon, Paul, and Tom lead themselves through in the next session. But I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I've really
Yep.
enjoyed
Yeah,
running
it's
it.
good. Yeah.
Yep, I enjoyed it.
Down
Trying
the
to
boozer for the next session.
Yeah, indeed.